Howdy, welcome to COMM 305. This is the video lecture for October the 1st, Friday. And today I am going to talk to you about how to complete the group project. Okay, as you already know, we have a big group video project that's due at the end of the semester. And it is a big chunk of the grade for the semester. So it's very important that you do a good job so that you get a good grade at the end. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, so the group project involves a group of 4 to 5 people, and you are going to produce a YouTube video or Google video, whatever video that's 4 to 6 minutes long. In this video, you are going to pick one communication theory that's covered this semester, or a theory that we are going to cover later this semester. You are going to introduce the theory and apply it to a real-world situation. Ideally, this video should include a skit or a role play. I showed you guys the video about the politeness theory when I taught that chapter. That was an example of a student project from the past. So if you didn't attend that day's lecture, I encourage you to take a look at that video, and then you will get an idea of the kind of good video that you could potentially produce. So in order to help you to be successful with this project, I've broken this down into 3 steps. Step 1 is group formation, 5 points. You all got it already. It was due on September the 15th. So at this moment, each one of you should have a group, and you should be able to see which group you are in on Canvas. And it is a very good time for you to get in touch with your group member if you haven't done so. I would always get each other's phone number and email address, or do a group me. Anyhow, you need to find a way that you can effectively reach other group members. So this is something that a lot of you have already finished. The second step is a group video outline. This is 20 points. It is going to be due on October the 13th. You're going to turn in a 1-page, single-spaced outline of your video presentation. The video presentation should include the following parts. First, you need to tell me which theory that you've chosen as a group. Next, you are going to give me a summary of the main concepts and relationships in this particular theory. For instance, using the example of politeness theory that I showed you guys in class. If you recall, that group, they first talked about the assumption of the politeness theory, then they talked about positive phase and negative phase, and then they talked about the importance to use politeness strategies when you are delivering a face-threatening act, and then they talked about 5 different types of strategies from the most polite to the least polite. So these are the main components of that theory. No matter which theory that you've chosen for this class project, you need to give me a good summary of the main concepts and relationships that this theory covers. The third component is the real-world scenario that you are going to use. You need to briefly explain to me what is the scenario that you are going to play out in this video. For instance, in the politeness theory example I showed you, their real-world scenario is when an employee was asking for a raise, right? So it can be a lot of other scenarios. It can be interpersonal relationships. It can be at work. It can be traveling, can be anything. But you need to explain the scenario to me. And then the final component is that you are going to state clearly, how does the theory help you understand or respond to this real world scenario. In other words, how does the theory connect to your real life scenario or the fictional scenario? I like to think about the outline as a way for me to give you some preliminary feedback in terms of whether you are going at the right direction with the paper, with the final video. So I will tell you, I will grade this outline and tell you, okay, you guys are on the right track and just go ahead and do what you said you're going to do. Or I might tell you, you might need to think about a different theory, or this scenario isn't really related to the theory, or I might, say, well, you missed out a part of the theory. So again, this is a one-page single-spaced outline for your group presentation that's due on October the 13th. You're going to submit it to Canvas because I set it up as a group project on Canvas. So only one of you in the team, only one person in the team need to submit it on Canvas. And when I grade it, all the other team members will automatically receive the grade as well. Finally, step 3 is your final group video. It is worth 50 points and it's due on December the 8th. It should be 4 to 6 minutes, not too long, not too short. And again, only one person needs to submit it to Canvas in the group. I recommend you don't upload the entire video to Canvas because there might be problems. And video is a very big file. So in the past, I've asked students to upload the video to YouTube and then only submit the link to your YouTube video. If you don't want to put it on YouTube, you can put it on your Google Drive and then share the link to the video on Google Drive. That will work too. Okay, so finally, how am I going to grade this final video? I know you guys like rubric, so here we go, a rubric. So I am going to grade you in terms of these 5 criteria. For each of the criteria, I'll grade you from a scale of 0 to 10. I don't think anybody is going to get a 0, but you probably get a 10 or 9 or 8. So the first one is content. I would like to see that the video illustrates the main concepts and relationships of the theory. The real world scenario is believable and interesting. The second criteria is acting. So to what extent is the acting natural and believable? Do students behave professionally on camera? So do not mess around on your video. The third criteria is participation. I require all team members to appear in the video, okay, in one way or another. So you can all be actor or one person can be the narrator, doesn't matter. Each person needs to be in the video. I'll count. This is a way to ensure participation. The fourth component is videography and sound. So I'm going to evaluate this video based on the quality of your video and the quality of your sound. So for instance, is the camera stable? Do we have smooth camera movements and pans? Are people, the subject, framed? Are images well lit and well composed? Is the sound clear and understandable? Can I hear you guys, right? Or is the video edited effectively, flows well? Sorry, there's a typo, should be flows well. And did you guys use titles and subtitles effectively? And finally, I will have my own overall impression evaluation. That is basically my very subjective, to what extent do I like this video? Again, on a 1 to 10 scale. So if you get 10 on all these 5 criteria, you will get 50, that's the full mark. I will, when I'm grading, I'll use this rubric to evaluate based on each of these criteria. So that is all I have for this particular group project. So make sure you watch this video, you take notes, and it's a very good time for you to get in touch with your group members right now and start to discuss and decide which theory you are going to pick. What are your real life scenarios, and start to compose the outline. And again, let me say this is a group project, which means each person is responsible for the entire team, okay? So if one person is going to submit the outline, make sure everybody gets a chance to see it before you submit it, and each person should be able to provide feedback and add it to the outline. I don't want one person to do all the work. Everybody should be involved. The same should be said about the final video. After the acting part is completed, you guys need to talk about, okay, who is going to do the video editing, right? Who is going to be responsible for the sound? And who is going to do quality check? If you want a team leader, feel free to find a team leader who is, a more organized person who is making sure, everybody does their part. If there's any problem, the team leader will notice early on and try to solve it. Again, we will talk about the theories of group communication and group collaboration during this semester. So hopefully this group project will give you some real life experiences about group communication and decision making that, might be relevant to you when we talk about the chapter on group communication. Okay, that is all I have. Well, I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you have a very nice weekend. Bye-bye.